I'm running on 4 principles: individual freedom, personal responsibility, fairness, and also respect. You don't want the government to tell you what to do. You don't want the government to tell you what to say.
The People's Party of Canada. We are there for the people. We are putting people first.
What I just want a better system for Canadians.
People are ready for a new common sense revolution.
They call me Mad Max because I'm mad. I'm mad what the Trudeau government is doing with the huge deficit taxes and the carbon tax, so I'm mad at that.
I'm mad about the traditional political leaders like Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau because they're not speaking about the real issues. With all this political correctness everywhere, every politician, they're afraid to speak, and they have to do a focus group before speaking to Canadians.
Let's be not politically correct. Political correctness, I don't believe in that, and saying the truth, and that's what I'm saying to Canadians.
Most politicians, like I said, they want to please everybody, and they're afraid of the mainstream media.
What's the state of the media in Canada right now? You guys have a whole different set of problems than
Oh my God.
What is going on with the CBC and just everything else in Canada?
Yeah, we have the CBC, and the federal government is giving about $1.3 billion a year. We must cut that because it is unfair.
For me, the CBC, it's funded by us, by people's money, by Canadians. If they want to be a leftist partisan, they can go at the private sector. People who want to give money to the CBC will be able to do that, and taxpayers won't be forced to give money to the CBC.
Ending supply management protection for dairy farmers. You've wanted to get rid of that stuff for a long time. I appreciate that.
With that system, as you know, people are paying twice the price for dairy, poultry, and eggs. It's time to get rid of that. We are the only country who's having a system like that. So let's do it, and it will be good for consumers. It will be good also for the producers. They will be able to export their products, and now they cannot do that.
I'm not working for dairy, poultry, and eggs cartel. I'm not working for 19,000 producers under that cartel. I'm working for 36 million Canadians, and I'm working for a fair policy. And it is not fair that Canadians are paying twice the price for these products. Go to the States. A dozen of eggs will be 99 cents. And here it's about $3.40, $3.50, sometimes $3.75. We must abolish it, and a Canadian family will save $400 a year.
What do you think free speech means in Canada?
You must have the right to express your point of view, and if somebody doesn't like your point of view, it's okay. You're not there to speak and try to please everybody.
What the government wants to do is to put a bureaucrat, a civil servant, in charge of looking at what I'm saying as a politician, of what Canadians are saying, and because they won't like it, we won't be able to say what we believe in. It's crazy. We are going in a direction that is not very good for our democracy.
The Trudeau government want to bring a new definition of hate speech, and that new definition would be larger. And if I'm saying something that you don't like, maybe you can complain to a Human Rights Commission. We don't want that. This country has always been free to express, and people were free and are free to express their point of view. So they want to do that, but we have a definition of hate speech in the criminal code, and that's okay, and we don't need to have another definition. I'm looking at what's happening right now. It's a little bit, I'm worried about the future of free speech in this country.
Foreign affairs and aid. The Trudeau administration has been kind of famously generous with Canadian money, very, very
with your
keen
money.
Yeah, exactly, with all of our money. He pledged, I think it's $400 million, and there's been tens of millions other places going to other countries.
First of all, we must say that the Trudeau government is doing that, giving a lot of our money to other countries. First, it's to buy a seat at the UN Security Council. But also the other reason, he wants to fight climate change in Africa, so $2.3 billion. So all this money that is coming outside, we must help Canadians first and put our country first. That's part of our platform.
Canada will be there if there's a humanitarian crisis, will be there if there's an environmental disaster, will be there. But it is not our role to give money to build a road in Africa. It is not our role to give money to other countries to fight climate change. It is not our role to give money to a bank, international bank in Asia that the Chinese government will control to develop roads in other countries. So, and we can save around $5 billion there. So that's very different than the other political parties. We are a nation. We are not a post-nation state. We have Canadian values and we share the Western civilization values. So for him, is a little bit like his father, you know. The UN and the world is important, and the mass immigration and open borders, and everybody can come to Canada. That's what people, they don't like that in Canada.
What is the PPC approach toward immigration?
First of all, as you may know, we're the only party who wants fewer immigrants, but we want more economic immigrants. Actually, right now, this year, Canada will receive 310,000 immigrants this year, and in 2 years from now, that will be 350,000. But only 26% of them are economic immigrants.
We have people who are crossing the border from the state of New York to Quebec, and they are asking to. They said that they're refugees, and actually they're not real refugees. You know, your life is not in danger in the state of New York.
We have a federal immigration minister, Matt Hussein, and his plan is to bring in something like 1 million immigrants. We're probably headed into a recession. Is this a good policy? I mean, I can't make sense of this.
It is not. It is not a good policy. Their policy, it is there to be sure that the Liberal Party of Canada will be re-elected.
For Trudeau, diversity is our strength. And for me, it's unity who is our strength as a country. But Trudeau is always pushing for more diversity, more diversity, more diversity. More diversity won't help our country. At the end, it will destroy our country.
Instead of having 350 in 2 years from now, that will be a maximum of 150,000 immigrants.
It's a privilege to be Canadians, and we want people who come here to share our Canadian values, our basic Western civilization values.
It is a fact in Canada that we have a strong separation between the state and religion. So these people who come here must share these kind of values.
If you are, I don't know, pro Sharia law, that's against our values. That's against freedom between man and woman. If you have an open border and you want everybody from everywhere to come to Canada, that will create tension and dislike in the population. And that's happening actually in Europe right now.
Are you able to point to that? That's the one thing that I've never understood, that Europe is having all of these integration problems.
Yeah.
Merkel has basically said she's screwed up.
Yeah.
You know, after letting 1 million people in.
Yeah.
Are you able to point to that and say, you see, they might have, that's the warning.
I'm doing that.
And if we know that a person won't share our values, but they won't come here, they won't be welcome.
Vote for your values, vote for what you believe in, be part of the change, be with us. 30% of Canadians that didn't vote at the last election. So why they didn't vote? Because they don't believe in politicians anymore. They don't believe in a politician who's saying something a day and the opposite the other day. So we are doing politics differently. We don't try to please every special interest group. We are speaking for Canadians, and we have policy that we think are the best for the prosperity of this country.
And that's why I think in Canada we need the People's Party of Canada. Our principles are very clear: individual freedom and personal responsibility. So we argue and we want a limited government in Ottawa, a smaller government, lower taxes, and more freedom for Canadians.
I want to have a discussion with everybody that don't agree with our platform, because I know we have the best ideas and I'll be able to convince them. When you believe in people, you cannot be wrong. When you believe in individual freedom, you cannot be wrong. I don't believe in a big fat government that will tell you every day what to do with your life.
Express yourself. We have the right ideas. It's based on freedom and personal responsibility. So don't be shy. Speak about it and express your point of view. You'll see you'll have a lot of support. When you do that, you'll see you'll have some support. But also speaking with the real person, your friends, your family, that's too important. That's too important for your own future, but also for the future of our country.